and I'm having an amazing day. I hope you are as well. So I'm really privileged to be joined by Rochelle from Tech for Social Impact. Hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I hope you are too. So could you just introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Rochelle Eichner, and I lead our global cloud solution team for Microsoft's Tech for Social Impact. So I've got technical experts all around the world that are serving nonprofits today.
That's amazing. So thank you so much for being here. So for those people who don't quite know what Tech for Social Impact is, could you just give people like an introduction and a summary of what you do?
Absolutely. So Tech for Social Impact was created about 2 years ago, actually about 27 months ago. And we were created to basically develop an entire ecosystem dedicated to serving nonprofits, so advancing their mission through the use of digital technology. So we've got solutions, we've got a solutions team, we've got a partner team, we've got an account management team, we've got technical experts, and then we recruit partners to work with us as well. And we evaluate our progress based on advancing the missions of the nonprofits in the world today.
That's amazing. Wow, you must do so much good in the world. So that's amazing. So I don't know, like in terms of Satch's keynote, and I know that I've been talking to Charles Lamano, who's CVP of the Power Platform. So they are very keen on creating so many app makers, and there's a massive, kind of upskilling in this technology. How can we tie Tech for Social Impact and what you do and this amazing cause together with this amazing technology that's empowering everyone all over the world?
Very, very cool idea. So really what we want to do is we want to pull in Microsoft employees, we want to pull in partners, we want to pull in people from the community to help advance the missions of the nonprofit we serve. So one example would be we participated in the Microsoft Open Hack and Open Hack for Good. And so we partnered with Mercy Housing, Salvation Army, and developed a virtual social worker application so that when a person comes in and they're maybe homeless or something and they get put into the system, they don't have to enter their information multiple times and they can get services from multiple organizations. So if you think about that and you think about what are the cool things that Microsoft employees can do, partners can do, other organizations can do, it's participate in that to develop those really cool applications with the Power Platform.
That's amazing, and what an amazing application to make. So, and you mentioned so many really awesome organizations that have such great missions. Do you see kind of how to tie those organizations together and how we can maybe template things like that to be able to accelerate essentially the growth of the organization and accelerate their mission?
For sure. So a couple benefits come from that. One is we bring organizations together. So if you think of the Microsoft homelessness initiatives, so we've got Microsoft, we've got Mercy Housing, we've got Salvation Army, and other organizations that come together just to focus on homelessness, right? We do that in the same thing with youth. So we bring organizations together with common needs. The other thing we've done is we're developing a common data model. And that common data model creates an environment where third-party applications can develop and write to this common data model that focuses on the IATI standard, which is a nonprofit standard. And then really we can integrate with all sorts of different, you might call them competitors, but they're also partner solution providers to serve the nonprofit sector. So when you put all of that together, we're really trying to create replicable solutions because a volunteer-based application over here at Team Rubicon might be just as beneficial as going to a humanitarian organization like the Canadian Red Cross.
That's fantastic, and what I love about that is the fact it acknowledges there's so much choice in the market, and nonprofits should have that choice as well.
For sure. I mean, we really evaluate our success based on how we're impacting the mission of the nonprofits we serve. So it's not revenue, it's not tied to anything else. It's really tied to, obviously we want them to use Microsoft technology, but it's really how do we advance their mission? How many more people do we serve? How many people do we serve? How are we able to help with humanitarian efforts, et cetera?
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit more. You've mentioned some of the problems that nonprofits face. And for those people who perhaps haven't got the experience of working with nonprofits and perhaps more commercial organizations, could you just tell people a little bit more about those problems and why they need this support?
Definitely. A couple things come to mind. Before I joined Tech for Social Impact, I always thought if I made a donation, I wanted that donation to go directly to the end beneficiary. So maybe go to that child, for example. So if I give $100, I'd like it to go to the child. But if I think about it now that I've joined Tech for Social Impact, if I can take that $100 and it can go to technology, and you take that technology and now you develop something that doesn't serve one child, it serves 100 or 1,000, my total approach to it has changed. And that's one of the things, is they struggle with donors wanting the dollars to go directly to the end result. So that's one. A key second area is they just don't have the resources financially to be able to have deep technical skills. So that's where we try to bring people and partners and solutions to bear that they can replicate easily to advance their mission.
That's great. And in terms of the open hacks that you mentioned, can you tell me a little bit more about the open hacks and like how they kind of start?
So a couple things. So the Microsoft Open Hack, we certainly did that, and we get organizations that want to participate, and then employees that want to participate. So if you want to participate in an open hack with a nonprofit, the opportunity's there. The other thing that we're doing on my team is the technical team that I have, so the solution specialists, cloud solution architects, technical specialists, we're going to be doing open hacks for good in key countries around the world. So we might set one up in New York, and we'd say, hey, what organizations want to come in and spend a half a day, and we'll just go and code and hack with them. Really cool.
That's amazing, and I bet it's great for you to see, like especially because you're so personally invested in the role, and I can see that you enjoy it so much and you get so much joy from it. I bet it's great to see the change that your team is making.
Most definitely. We are the greatest team in all of Microsoft, in case anyone asks. So, and I tell that to everybody that I'm recruiting. It is the most fun. I tell you, the coolest thing is I can come to work and I can do the things that I love and I think I'm pretty good at, but I can also I can also focus on the mission and still pay my mortgage. You know what I mean? It's like bringing those two lives together. And one of the things that I personally focus on is making sure that I'm always kind of connected to that mission. So it might be, attending a Make-A-Wish event, right? It might be, the fact that I was, at a Syrian refugee camp, last year. And when you see the end results of what you actually do and what Microsoft is doing through Tech for Social Impact, it just pulls on your heartstrings. It's really, really cool.
It's all about the story of the people, and when you look into the eyes of the people that you're influencing, what you just described is exactly the fulfillment that you get from your role.
Oh, most definitely. And we recruit people that have those similar values and that similar empathy. We want people that are really connected to the mission as well as to whatever their technical skills are. So I'm leading the technical team. I want great technical people, but I want people that are connected to where they want to be and how they want to advance the world. And they're not hard to find. Microsoft is full of those people.
So for everyone listening and everyone that's kind of resonating with what you're saying, and they're like, that's me, how would you say, what would you say to them? Like, especially because I'm that kind of person. I'm the person that would listen to this and be like, what can I do right now? What can I do to get stuck in?
Well, there's a few things you can do. First of all, anyone can reach out to anyone in TSI. So you could go to Bing and search on Tech for Social Impact, and you'll end up there. People can reach out to me if you've got a passion and you want to get involved, and that might be involved in an open hack. It might be just for more information. I'm Rochelle at Microsoft.com. It's that easy, and I'll be around the next couple of days if anybody wants to reach out. But there's just a ton of ways to get involved, and we just love people that are excited about it.
That's fantastic. Well, I've really appreciated your time. Like, could we end on essentially what's your plans for the next 6 months? Like, could you just briefly say what are you working on?
Oh, thank you. Yes, Sarah. So my organization we're really focused on how we can develop those replicable solutions. So I've got a modern workplace team that's saying, how can we help organizations implement teams, right? So they can better collaborate to be able to advance the missions of the organizations they serve. I've got, the Azure team that's doing open hacks, that's trying to develop solutions. And then I've got a Dynamics team that's basically saying, how can we build replicable solutions, on that common data model.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. So I've got two things. So before I go back to the live stage, I've got two things. Firstly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And the last thing here. So I'm thirsty. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle that everyone will have with your swag, and I'm going to fill it forward. I'm going to scan the barcode, I'm going to get my water, and I'm going to give a glass of water and hydrate people who can't have this in their normal daily lives. And I'm going to be able to help projects all over the world essentially become hydrated as well. So back to the live stage.
Welcome back.